I've lived in Japan now for over 20 years, but I've lived in the culture all my life. This is a country of humility, of speaking in riddles, where you need to read between the lines to grasp the full scope of things. Reading the room. In Japanese, a person that can't read the room is called KY, or Kuki Yomenai. It's actually interesting because I knew the word KY before I actually knew the phrase read the room. I guess in America I never really heard read the room, but the impact of being KY in Japan was so deep. You don't want to be that person that's KY. You get people talking behind your back about how KY you are. Japan is a country full of judgment and shame. You don't know when someone's looking at you, judging you. You fear judgment. You fear shame. Shame is really deeply rooted in this country where you can't tarnish your family's reputation. If you go to jail, if you do a crime, even if you commit suicide, all of the shame goes on the family left behind. Growing up, you didn't want to be that kid, the kid that did the bad things on the street, and the ladies of the neighborhood would be like, oh, I want to see the face of that kid's parents. As a child, you were already representing your family in the street. And in the house, it might have been worse. What would my parents think of me doing this? What would my parents say? Or not say? People pleasing in Japan is also so deeply rooted, probably because you want to please your parents, you want to get good grades, you want to make sure that your parents are proud in front of the other parents, in front of the elders, grandparents, in-laws. You want to make everyone proud. There's a saying in Japan, 出る釘は打たれる. If you stand out too much, you're gonna get judged. You're gonna get hammered. Standing out, you're the nail, the sore thumb. So in Japan, for trying to make your parents or your family proud, you still have to be humble. Humility is what looks good. I guess listening to this, it's kind of like, it's very confusing. Am I supposed to be proud? Or am I supposed to be humble? Growing up in the States, where everything was about standing out, having an opinion, talking about yourself. When I came to Japan, I didn't realize I was doing those things. But when I went into the workforce, people would be like, why do you talk so much about yourself? It's all about you. And I was like, I didn't know what that meant. And then I felt shame for being the American. But then I was born Japanese. So finding identity was a really hard thing to do. I'm incredibly vulnerable and scared, I guess, to be myself. In fact, in any country, even in America, I don't fit in because I'm the Japanese one, the strange Japanese awkward person. And then in Japan, I'm I feel like I stutter a lot. I don't feel comfortable. I'm always scared to talk because you have to speak a certain way. You have to use keigo. You have to be respectful with the way you say things. And you always fear, like, what if I disrespect somebody? What if I say it the wrong way? So it's actually interesting that now I've kind of let that go. Or rather, I've accepted myself as an American. I kind of portray the American even stronger. And that actually saves me. Because I could be that stupid American that's actually really good at Japanese. But she's an American. So it's okay for her to be weird. And that has really saved me a lot. In Japan, there's a lot of unwritten rules, expectations, standards. It's a country of conformity. Japanese school uniforms are looked from the world perspective as cute uniforms. But in reality, as cute as the uniforms might look, and for girls to choose what school they're gonna apply to because the uniform's cute, I feel like it must be so suffocating to not be allowed to dye your hair, to have limitations to your hairstyle, to be able to represent your style, represent your individuality. Like, everyone needs to look the same. So from the global perspective, you might see like the Harajuku style, or, the women here are dressed so well. But when you live here, it's suffocating because you have to conform. There's a saying, shirome de mirareru, which is you're being looked at with the white eye or the white part of your eye. In other words, people are giving you the side glance. In other words, you're being judged. When you're skinny, as a girl or a female, if you're skinny, you're appreciated. You look good. When you're not so skinny and you show too much skin, then you get the side glances. Like, that's too sexual. That's too revealing. That's too much cleavage. That's too much thigh. But if you're skinny, then it's like, wow, she has this long legs. She's so pretty. These standards are embedded from elementary school. Oh, I'm too dark skinned. I need to be lighter skinned. Oh, my friend said that, how are you so skinny when you eat so much? Like, these aren't things that young elementary school kids should be talking about, but they are. What are the parents saying to their children at such a young age, in this current age? There's still this deep rooted expectation. I wish I could change. I wish that this generation could let go of those beauty standards that aren't healthy. I'm good at living in fear, meeting expectations. I thrive at doing well, getting the pat on the back, but doing things that don't feel right. When I do something that has that weird vibe, like, did I just say something that wasn't funny, that wasn't good, that wasn't, no, that was KY. Standing out, especially in public, feels terrifying. The anxiety, not being in control, not pleasing, not being listened to, not being heard, validated. What if? What if? What if? Inhale and breathe. Let go. And then back in the peace that is my mind, where it's safe, where I'm alone, where no one can touch me, no one can bother me. I'm here in my safe place.